Hi everyone, what's the crack? So we are at one of the houses I've just purchased and we're going to give a bit of a run through on it. So we're actually going to put the video here at the start of what it was actually like when I first purchased, because the guy's been on site for about 2 weeks now, so they've got a lot of what the rubbish and everything else that was in it out. So we're going to see what's going through, and then we're going to have a wee talk with one of the builders about some of their tips on what to look for when you're buying your first BRR, flip or whatever like that there. A couple of little tips on that. And then we're actually going to pop over to one of the other houses I've got and we're going to see what it's like and give some tips there. And obviously everyone feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you have any design tips, feel free to shoot me a DM. Always open to that there. So let's go on in. So this is one of the first things that we're going to get fixed. My opinion is, even though it's a rental property, curb appeal is always important. So one of the things I'm always particular about is actually getting a door that looks good. This door was, if you actually look on the outside of the houses, it was red, white and blue. And if you're in Northern Ireland, I think you understand exactly what that means. So we're going to get this changed slightly. We're going to get a really nice, solid black door, just make everything look nice. Get this house and the curb appeal looking really good. And for any tenant that's coming in, we want it to be a place they're proud to live in and happy to live in. So yeah, let's go into the first room here. So as you can see when we're in here, this is going to be the main living area. We're going at this door, this window, and where all the bricks were covered in damp. You could almost wash your hands when you were touching the bricks, it was that wet. So what we actually found out was there was a problem on the outside. The drains hadn't been connected right, and the guttering was broke. So all along here and then out the front in that area were just covered in damp. And basically people hadn't done a simple little job. As much as I would love to have this brick finish, I've been told I'm not allowed it to make sure it's all damp safe and brilliant for the tenant, but yeah, that would be a nice feature maybe in another one. So this here, we're going to take up all the floors, we're going to repaint this, we're going to make this all sort of a lot brighter, a lot friendlier, and looks a bit of a mess now, but when we get it all done, it'll be perfect. So go into the kitchen here. So going into the kitchen here, this is Patrick and Colin. You'll be hearing from Patrick in a little bit to hear what he thinks and everything. So from the first video you would have seen right here, there was the big hole, and that caused all of this just to drop. Yeah, it was not a pretty sight for anything. The guys have done a great job, boarded this up, and they're on in a minute fixing the roof. So this is going to be completely different and then when we do the video later on to show the actual house finished, I don't think you'll recognise it. So we're going to keep it a bit of a galley kitchen. We're going to have cabinets and everything running along here. Hopefully maybe have a little breakfast bar, currently where Ethan's standing. So hopefully have a little bit of a breakfast bar there, and that'll be perfect. Again, what you want is, and what I always try to do, is give tenants something they love, something they want to be spending time in. And you know, I like to cook, so I imagine myself living here, what do I want and what will I enjoy, and that's exactly the type of thing I would like. So yeah, it'll be really great. And then again, one of the things I'm always super keen on doing is, you can see when you come out here, you know, with terrace properties, they're not always going to have the biggest outside space. But one of the things I want to do with my tenants is I'm converting everything from oil to gas. That creates the benefit of giving them more space here. So we'll get this tidied up even further. We'll get this painted white, and we'll create this as what is a small but good living space for them. I think that's really important. Again, constantly trying to give the tenants the best that we can do on it, with obviously the limitations we have in the area. Yep, so now we'll go upstairs and we'll show you what it's like. I assume this is meant to be where Harry Potter lived at some stage, just in there, the wee room under the stairs. As we go upstairs, we'll go into the guest bedroom, and you'll also see the bathroom, and we'll talk about some of the plans we've got there. One of the benefits of when you're converting from oil to gas is you can move one of the cylinders, and that's where it was sitting there. As you can see, it's just covered up at the minute, but what this allows us to do is actually, particularly in this room, create a bit more actual living space for the tenant. And then with doing that there, we're then able to do this. As you can see, was the bathroom. I'm not going to sit down in the toilet because I'm not sure how secure that is at the minute, and I do not want to risk forever embarrassment on the internet, which probably will happen Monday, but let's try to avoid that for as long as possible. So what the plan is here is, as you can see, it was originally quite a pokey bathroom. It was quite small, so we actually are trying to move it out the wall out to about here, and then we'll bring it back to where it finishes there. Again, part of the reason why we're doing that is tenants want good living rooms, they want good kitchens, and they want good bathrooms. If you have the space to actually create it and do it right, then do it. We're taking away that sort of what was the wardrobe and the cylinder there. We're able to give them that bit more space, and with it being the main bathroom and this being a 3-bed, you need to give the tenants exactly what they want, and this is my opinion, just that something that's going to cost a little bit extra. Not everyone may do it, but I think long term it'll allow the tenants here to have a better time. The longer the tenants stay, the longer the tenants are happier, the better it is for me, from my side, and certainly if you're an investor, you want long-term good tenants. And yeah, my opinion is try to create something that they want and they'll have it. So yeah, we'll go into the other 2 bedrooms here. So again, this would probably end up being your main bedroom. Quite a bit more space, which is good. As you can tell, this was all carpeted, and the whole house was carpeted in really poor condition. As you can see, one of the issues we had was along here. The house had just been left for so long, and the bed was actually put beside here. It was all just damp. So that's one of the things you want to be looking out for. Is maybe this isn't a major issue, but you can see where the bed was, and the condensation and the lack of air flowing out throughout the whole house. We're trying to get this all aired out, make sure it's all good. It's one of those houses, particularly when you buy a house in auction, I think the guys have found certainly some interesting things throughout it all, and certainly quite a few interesting things, and not too sure we can put that out on YouTube what all they found, but glad I wasn't there to see some of it. So into the next bedroom here. Now, this is one which will get classified as a 3rd bedroom, but particularly nowadays with working from home, this is more than likely going to be an office. So this will actually be a really good office. It's a good sized space. You can see where we put a desk probably along something like here. We're going to get it changed from this yellow. Just again, keep everything nice and bright and looking good. So yeah, this is sort of what we originally called Project Train Spotting with what was found in it. So what we'll do now is we'll ask Patrick some of the questions. He'll give some ideas about some of the issues he encountered in this house and some tips for you guys to take home in the game. I think that's really good because it's someone who's actually doing this day in, day out, knows what he's doing. And yeah, I always think tips from actual professionals are some of the best ones you can have. So let's go ask Patrick some questions here. So we've got Patrick here today, who is one of the main builders I use. And basically one of the things, like I sort of said earlier, it's really good to get actually questions and tips from people here. And I think one of the first things I'll probably ask you is, so what did you first think when you came in here? And obviously, you know, we put the video on here, people will know it wasn't in that great a condition, but sort of from your perspective, when you come into a house that's like this here, what's the first thoughts that's going through your head, apart from what have I got myself into, but from the actual professional side, when you're looking at it, what's your first couple of thoughts of going like, these are the first things I need to get to assess then the next stages?
Yeah, so when we came around and surveyed the property, I came with you, obviously this property was in bad shape, a lot of rubbish, but I look past that. I don't even look at the rubbish. So one of the first things I actually done when I came into this property is I remember I went to the attic.
Yep.
So start at the top and work your way down.
Yep.
And obviously then when you go to the attic, or you see behind the interior structure, you see how it's built, so it tells you what age the property is. So then you kind of get a good feel of, right, this property was last updated in the 80s or 90s, because one way things are finished on the roof. So whenever we understood that, then my next move was to work our way down, work our way through each room and spot the dampness. So dampness is number one to spot, and we surveyed the property, we checked all the exterior walls, and we noticed all the dampness coming in, and we found that that problem was from the exterior. So it was the storm drain.
Yeah.
It was broke. It was running down the walls, and that wasn't the biggest issue. But the biggest issue was from off the property, where your storm drain enters into the council drains. It was just totally blocked. So water was never getting away. So obviously that has a massive effect on the moisture coming into your house. So whenever we fixed that problem, that was about then working our way through the property, fixing it.
Yeah. And then sort of for someone who's maybe new to investing, obviously I've done it quite a bit now, what would you sort of say someone's first time they're coming in to invest somewhere, they're looking at it, what would you be saying to them is the first thing they should be looking at and sort of getting an idea of what to do?
I would build a relationship with a good builder, even if it's only a friend of a friend, but somebody who you have a bit of faith. It's like a good mechanic.
Yeah.
You know, you'll go to somebody who's you trust. So the first thing you want to do, you don't want to come in with one set of eyes, you want more eyes to look at it. So they'll see things that you haven't really spotted, and we can all come in and paint something up and change doors, but to have that little bit of expertise behind you will make a massive difference. It's the unforeseens is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's the under the floors, up in the attic. That's what you want to spot.
this is the second house we were telling you about. One of the things about this house which I really like, maybe because I'm a bit more of an experienced investor, is that it's one of the things when you look at it, there's an obvious problem. We'll see when we go in, but the obvious problem is obvious to me, and the fix is obvious. But to someone who's maybe sort of quite new into property, it's not going to be the easiest one to figure out what to do. And I think sort of one of the things I believe, the longer you're in property, you actually have more opportunities, your knowledge is increasing. So when you come across houses like this here, where you know you can maybe make an investment and maybe make some money and solve a solution, it just opens up more avenues for you. So yeah, we'll go in, we'll have a look, and I'll point that out to you. And yeah, we'll see what this one's like. Thankfully this one, particularly for Patrick and Colum's sake, is in a hell of a lot better condition, so they're always happier to deal with it. So yep, come on, let's go on then. This is again the living room space. All the lights are broken in that, which isn't the obvious issue I was talking about. But so this here, one of the big things is you look up here, there's damp issue. Now a lot of these houses, particularly the terrace houses that maybe were built in around the 1930s, 1920s, a lot of them will have a flat roof. Now flat roofs were a while ago were an issue, but nowadays it's actually, there's a lot of quite easy fix you can do to it. They'll last maybe 20 to 50 years if you get a good guarantee. But this room here, quite echoey, but quite a lot of nice features in it. You can see it's double-breasted chimneys, both sides. So again, plan is maybe make a bit of a media wall and some paneling, floating shelves, those type of things there. Little touches like that there. When this is all, the damp's fixed in it, all painted up, do those little things here to make it quite nice and sort of brighter and give the tenants, just that bit of a nicer room. So we're going to go on into the kitchen in here, and you'll see somewhere where it's quite interesting, and you'll see where I was talking about was the obvious mistake. So again, what's quite common in a lot of these here houses, and quite common throughout Belfast in terms of terrace properties, is that we have a bathroom on the bottom floor. So whoever done it didn't do a great job. I'll let Ethan go on and shoot because it's that small. You can see it is covered in mould black, very horrible mold. And one of the biggest and obvious mistakes that was done there was they do not have an extractor fan, which is one of the major issues here. And you can even see on the door outside there how much that affects it. So basically, with that there, it's also become a damp trap. And then, so one of the other issues we have is when you look outside, is that there is the the unit for the oil boiler. The vent is actually right beside the wall of the bathroom, and with it being a small courtyard, outdoor area, the actual fumes and everything else is coming off it, hitting that wall and condensing really quickly, which is causing part of the issue. So simple thing is, one of the things I talked earlier about is how I'm converting all my houses from oil to gas. That'll help solve that issue, but also the very simple things of putting an extractor fan in and making sure it's taken out to the wall, trying to just fix up that there and just do things like trickle vents and just those little things to try to keep as much moisture out. And we'll put trickle vents throughout the whole house, again, keep the air flowing and keep making sure it's perfect for the tenants. So we'll go upstairs here. And again, this is a 2-bed property, but they're quite big and it has a converted attic. So that will be quite nice again for the office feature with working from home you always want. So we'll go into the guest bedroom here. There isn't too much to show here. It's a very standard guest bedroom, which you find in terrace properties, but again, good size room. You can tell someone has done some plastering, some patchwork, not the best in the world, but again, it looks a lot more of an eyesore than it actually is. As you can tell, just here, maybe there was issues with the wallpaper or whatever like that, and they haven't done a great job. It's not smooth, it's not great, but a good plasterer come in, paint it white, as every landlord seems to do, but we'll do a couple of little sort of nice features in every room, just again, give the tenant something more than what's standard on the market and try to produce hopefully the best property on the market, which is always what I look to do. So when we go into this room here, which is the main bedroom, the big thing we're going to change in here is when you look here from one of the chimneys coming down, going through here, we're actually going to make a feature on either side of the chimney here. So again, this is one of the things I said about you want to create stuff for your tenants, you want to create a good home for your tenants. So just those little bits of feature going either side of the chimney, you're not going to see anywhere, creating it there. So whether it's going to be sort of a bit of shelving here or turn this into a wardrobe and have shelving here, and again, maybe create some paneling or make this a bit of a feature. Again, it's a big room, it can take that there, it can take maybe losing a little bit out, but again, taking that little bit away in terms of space can give the tenant that bit more in terms of a nicer living space. So when we go up here, we won't go up here because I'm not sure how well we'll be able to shoot it, but this is something which again could be a family living here, it could be a professional couple or whatever. One of the things I'm trying to always think about is safety. Again, you just want to make sure you think about all the things through. So we're actually going to build this up here. At one stage it was taken down. You can see from the marks on the wall and the different colours there was maybe a wall put here and someone's decided to take it down. We're actually going to build this up, but what we're going to do is put some safety glass actually in the middle, and we're going to take this back a little bit so it creates that bit more space in and around here so they can get easily up. But if someone falls, there's that protection there and the glass will help keep the light in. So it's those little things that as an investor is going to cost you more money if you're being strict on your super strict on your numbers, you might not do this, but I always take the view is that I want to create a property where someone can live in for 10 years and happily live in for 10 years. So I'm happy to spend these little bits of extra money here and there throughout the property to again create that space for the tenants, and that they're like, I can stay here and create such a nice home for them that they actually don't want to move out. If I have tenants have a better home and they're happier, that means me as an investor, I'm happier as well. So all around, that virtuous circle and cycle they talk about is really good and works perfect as an investor. So yeah, this is the second one. The plan is, again, this is going to take maybe about 6 weeks once the guys get into it to fix. There's a couple of complications we come through, as every property you'll find will have that, but nothing that we can't overcome. Like you said, saw the issues down in the bathroom, how to fix them properly and do maybe a couple of little nice features is one of the ideas we've got. So yeah, it'll be really good. This is one of the ones I think when it's all said and done will be amazing. This is a great area in Belfast, same as the other house. So yeah, looking forward to having these done. This will take about 6 weeks. The other one will take maybe between 8 and 10 weeks to get done, get sort of dried out and everything. So yeah, in about maybe 3 months' time, we'll come back, we'll have a look at these properties and sort of show before and afters and get everyone's thoughts, and then we'll run through some of the numbers, because hopefully we'll maybe have got tenant agreed. These areas are really popular for tenants, great commute into Belfast, lots of families, lots of good schools. So yeah, perfect for tenants and investors alike. Yeah, looking forward to having them done.